This is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Welcome to the Triple Option. Here's your host, Paul Catalina.
Episode 4 of the Triple Option, and you may see it's a little bit of a different camera angle today, and I am, it's because there's nobody sitting next to me. That's because my guest co-host of the day is my old friend Pierre Nugent, used to be here in Waco, but now he's at Fox 9 in Minneapolis, and he has braved many winters now, and I'm very proud of him for doing so. He's from Northern California originally, so I guess this was pretty extreme. Pierre, thanks for joining me. So happy to see you, buddy. I miss you terribly. I haven't seen you in like 3 or 4 years. I think since I was in Minneapolis.
For the Super Bowl. That was my first month here back in 2018. I first moved here. We had the Super Bowl, and you called me. You said, hey, I'm going to be there. I was like, well, fantastic. I actually know somebody, like, for once, like, coming here. So, yeah, no, it's been since, God, has it been that long?
Yeah, I can't believe it's been 5 years since I've seen you. Although, I tell you, I would love to go back to Minneapolis again. It was a very fun city, but I will not be going back in February. I'm not doing that.
No, one of my favorite things since moving to Minnesota is telling Minnesotans that I would rather be stuck in the middle of the Arizona desert in July with no water than ever see a drop of snow again for the rest of my life. And they look at me like I have two heads, and it's fun. It's a fun game I like to play. So,
Pierre, when I was there, and it's so wild, and we're going to talk about Big Ten football in a second because you cover it. You do the PJ Flex show each week on Fox 9 there. And so but when I was there, by about the 4th or 5th day, like I would be in a restaurant, or we were doing the show in the Mall of America, and I'd like walk in to get like a smoothie or something. And I would have these moments where I just wanted to ask the person, like, there's other places to live, right? You've seen TV where there's like sunshine and it's warm, like even this time of year. And by the end of the week, I was ready, like standing in line in the security line to get into that game. I knew what true pain and sadness were because it was so cold. I couldn't feel my face because I don't own a scarf because I live here. And I was it was awful. Awful. Yeah.
No, and you're not the only one. I remember chit-chatting with Armando Salguero, who used to write for the Miami Herald, who now works over at Outkick. He covered the Dolphins for, 30 years or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we were chit-chatting, and he said the exact same thing to me. He said, how do people do this every day? And I looked at him and said, I don't know. I have no idea. I've somehow managed to do it for 5.5 years. I still don't know how I'm doing it, but I'm alive, and I guess that's a good start.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so Pierre, one of the things that, of course, we talk about on our channel a lot because it's mostly what's dominated college football is realignment. You are there covering the Golden Gophers. They've been in a good spot. They haven't had to do anything and made more money, and all of a sudden they're going to be, welcoming teams in that they've never even thought would come into Minneapolis and play a game in USC, Oregon, Washington, UCLA, all coming in there. From Big Ten countries' perspective, how have you seen the realignment thing, unfolding in that, 2 years ago here it was panic times, and then all of a sudden everything's great because the Big 12 is gaining, but the Big Ten never really had to worry.
No, it never felt like they had to worry for a single minute. And as somebody like you mentioned, I'm originally from Northern California, so I'm used to Pac-10. Well, it was the Pac-10 at that time when I was living there. Now the Pac-12. I'm used to all the West Coast teams playing the West Coast teams. But now that USC, UCLA, like you said, Oregon, Washington, these trips that are going to be made to the West, it feels weird. I still have a little bit of a feeling like I'm dreaming, and this is kind of a weird dream, and it's all just going to go back to normal when I wake up. But yeah, that's an interesting quartet of teams that is going to be joining what is an already very competitive Big Ten conference in both divisions, more so in the East, obviously, since they have 3 teams ranked in the top 10 as of right now. So it really feels odd to me, but at the same time, too, I already told my bosses, I said, hey, when Minnesota plays UCLA and USC, you're putting me on the plane, right? I get to get out of here for a weekend and go to Southern California, don't I? So I'm going to hold them to that, whether they like it or not.
Here's what you should say. I speak California.
Correct.
I know the language. I
do.
I won't get freaked out by anything there.
Put a wetsuit on, give me a surfboard, I'm ready. I'll do a live shot from out on Santa Monica Pier. Who knows?
Yeah. By the way, is that not one of the weirdest places in the entire world?
Very strange.
It's very strange. Because you can walk down Santa Monica Pier and have a nice ice cream and a hot dog and ride a Ferris wheel and see kids running around. And then at the same time, you just see the craziest bum ever and just yelling out crazy things.
It is. You almost have to keep your head on a swivel to make sure that, nobody runs up to you really fast because God knows what could happen. And at the same time, too, you want to protect that ice cream cone because I don't want a seagull swooping in and stealing it or some crazy coming running around taking it out of my hand as well. So, yeah, you're right. You'll see some things down there.
Yeah. No, I was there. I went there the last time I was at Cowboys camp. It was 2019. On the day I had to leave, I had a really late flight and the Cowboys were off. So I just drove down Highway 1 there, and it's just an unbelievably beautiful drive. And so I drove right to the Santa Monica Pier. I park it, go up. I have lunch, and I was by myself and really enjoying the view and the ocean. And there's, kids running around and people drawing caricatures. And then I just hear the CIA put a chip in my brain. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then you see that. And then the people from California are just like, oh yeah, that's just Carl.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just it's almost part of the charm at this point. If you don't hear it now, it's like the 5:15 flyover. If you don't hear the planes at some point, you're like, wait, did I miss something? It's almost like an alarm.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Absolutely. No, but getting back to it, there's got to be genuine excitement to see new things. And look, Minnesota. They've been, in the middle, for a long time. That's kind of where their light in life is. Now, I think that there's probably renewed optimism in the year since PJ Fleck has been there because he's maybe the first coach that they've had in a long time that the rest of the country knows who he is. So then people kind of pay attention, right? And but I would think that being part of this major conference would be one of the conferences now, the Power 2 essentially, would make them feel better about their long-term future and maybe kind of crawling out of the maw of the middle a little bit.
Yeah, and when the whole, emergence of USC and UCLA and Washington and Oregon came to be, my immediate thought was, how in the world, Minnesota already now has not played in a Big Ten championship game since, I don't know. I probably should have looked that up before I got on the show, but it's been that long to the point where I don't even know. But when all of that went down, my immediate thought truly was, boy, somebody explain to me a path where the University of Minnesota is going to try to make it out of the Big Ten West if it stays that way. Now, I know there's talk that there's not going to be any divisions anymore. I don't know if that's going to be really what's going to happen. When you have 18 teams, Paul, I don't know how you might not have two divisions, but that's not up for me to decide and have a Big Ten championship game. I know you probably just take the top two and call your Big Ten championship game. But I as somebody who covers specifically the University of Minnesota, I think I don't see a pathway for them to reach a conference championship game. Perhaps, if we're really dreaming a college football playoff, unless maybe it expands and who knows what might happen one year with injury or you need a little luck sometimes to get to something like that. But I didn't love it for the University of Minnesota. I can tell you that. I said things just got an awfully lot harder for this university in a conference that was already hard to make your way through. And last year, I think it's fair to say that even though they went 8-4, they really missed an opportunity last year to play in the Big Ten championship game. The Big Ten West was wide open last year. It's wide open again this year, in all honesty, but last year, boy, they really had an opportunity to walk through that door and represent the Big Ten West, and they had a dud of a game against Purdue at home. That really hurt them in the long run. They still can't find a way to beat Iowa. That has been a thorn in their side since PJ Fleck has gotten here. So the pathway to glory for them in this conference, to me, has gotten It was already hard to begin with. It's gotten a lot harder now.
Well, yeah, and look, now Luke Fickell's at Wisconsin. Like, if you're just talking about the whole league, Luke Fickell's at Wisconsin, Lincoln Riley's coming in a year, Chip Kelly's coming in a year, Kalen DeBoer and Kenny Dillingham, not Kelly Dillingham, he's coming to the Big 12. Dan Lanning, all coming from okay, great. Okay, maybe we don't have to play Iowa as much. Well, I guess that's the rivalry game. They'll keep that one. Maybe we don't play Ohio State as much. Oh, great. Now it's USC or Oregon or Washington. So, yeah, it gets, it doesn't get easier at all.
No, it really doesn't. And especially when this is a year, too, where you look at Minnesota's schedule, and PJ Fleck loves to call it the second most opportunistic schedule in the country. But, their non-conference is North Carolina. At North Carolina, they have Eastern Michigan at home. They have Louisiana at home. Eastern Michigan, I love how everybody here is talking about how they're just going to walk over Eastern Michigan on September 9th. And I said, I wouldn't say it that way just yet. Eastern Michigan is not a bad football program, and nothing is a gimme with what I've seen with Minnesota over the last handful of years. So let's pump the brakes on just automatically chalking up a W against Eastern Michigan. But then they have to go to Ohio State. They have Michigan at home this year. They have Michigan State at home. And then, like I just said, Iowa has constantly been a thorn in their side. You got to play Wisconsin, of course, again, like you do every year. This schedule this year for Minnesota is daunting. And I wish I could feel more bullish about it. I know some people in the community who think that Minnesota's somehow going to win 9 games. And I was like, boy, you're more optimistic than I am. That's 9 games would be, with this schedule, I think would be maybe PJ Fleck's best work ever since he's been here.
Yeah. Well, tonight, look, they open up the season tonight against Nebraska. Matt Rule's first game there. Of course, know him very, very well from his time here. And it's an interesting game to me because Matt Rule's going to want to play how PJ Fleck wants to play, which is physical, old school. Like, you're going to see as two guys trying to get as close to 1962 football as they possibly can tonight in that game. And we don't really know what Nebraska's going to be. Have no idea. Like that. It would not surprise me if they won this game or lost this game. This is, to me, in my mind, a total toss-up. Minnesota, I know they're replacing quarterbacks, and Mo Ibrahim is gone, and you've got a lot of dudes that are out the door that really helped build PJ Fleck to that 8-4 last year. So, how do you see this one shaking out tonight? And I guess you're leaving right from this to go there, right?
Yeah, I'm leaving my fancy apartment that I'm in right now. As you can see, I'm living large here in Minneapolis. Yeah. So I'm going to be leaving here to go straight to the stadium after we're done chit-chatting. But you mentioned it. It's going to be an interesting way to see because PJ, over the last handful of years, you brought up one name. Mohamed Ibrahim was really the key that turned the engine for this team over the last few years. They didn't have him 1 year after he tore his Achilles in the season opener a couple of years ago, but he was just a bell cow that could be relied on week in and week out. And Tanner Morgan, their quarterback, was strong, steady, didn't wow you, wasn't really flashy, but was consistent enough to get the job done. And now it's going to look completely different, Paul, because Ethan Kaliakmanis steps in as the starting quarterback. And, he's got a great arm. People are very excited about his ceiling, in terms of, no disrespect to Tanner Morgan, but Ethan is a much more talented quarterback. PJ Fleck has alluded to the fact that his running back room and the way he's going to approach running the football this year is more of a running back by committee. So you don't really have that guy that you could turn around, hand the ball off to 25, 30 times a game like they did with Mo Ibrahim. It's a makeshift offensive line. John Michael Schmitz, who was an All-American center here, drafted in the second round by the New York Giants. He's gone. Nathan Bowe steps in as the starting center. Quinn Carroll, who was starting tackle, now slides over to guard. And PJ Fleck was asked about his offensive line. Is he planning to play the same 5 guys throughout the entire game tonight? And he said he kind of gave us we'll see. He said we might mix in a couple guys here and there. So I think that this is not going to be the same type of Minnesota offense that we've seen over the last few years with PJ. I think we're going to see them sling it a little bit more. But my concern is their offensive line and how they're going to protect Ethan Kaliakmanis with guys leaving the program and shifting around. I might not watch Ethan throw a pass tonight. I'm going to be watching directly in the trenches at that offensive line to see if they're able to block anybody.
All right, we're going to take a break right here. When we come back, Pierre, I warned you about this. This is the segment where we get to know you. We ask some sports questions. We ask some mostly, ridiculous personal questions. So,
yes, I love that.
Okay, we're going to do this. Pierre, my goal by the end of the show is to get Pierre ridiculously fired up. Insanely fired up.
Only you.
Yeah.
Only you can do this.
Yeah. I used to send Pierre words to work in during his sportscast when the news started. Like it was like you'd be in weather and I would be like, hey, you've got to say pickle. You got to figure out how to say pickle. And you've got, 6 minutes to work it in.
Yeah.
He usually did it.
And I was about to say, did I deliver for you or not?
Most of the time. I think one time I got it. No bleeping way, Paul. I'm not getting that in.
There were a couple of those. Yes. I said, I do have the final veto, but for the most part, I think I would like to think that I came through for you, buddy.
Look, on sometimes on a Thursday night, I would get home. I'd have myself a nice whiskey and be like, you know what? I'm going to mess with Pierre. That's what I'm going to do.
It's a story of my life. Just like, it's just a story of my life.
Yeah. And then our friend Nikki was your was the yes. anchor. I would get her in on it so that there would be, at least somebody to grade it, on site. So, yeah.
I had to tell her to essentially turn, because she would sit right next to me. So I had to tell her to essentially turn away from me because I knew the moment she started, because she cannot contain her laughter. Mm-hmm. That's a woman who cannot contain her laughter. And the moment she just starts, there's no way I'd be able to hold on. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to play Truth or Pierre, I guess, here. That's what we'll call it today. We're gonna get down to the brass tacks of you. This is the Triple Option on 365 Sports.
If your business is like most, you need things done quickly. But if you're still tying your critical applications together on multiple shared public networks, you've probably been feeling the slowdown. And that's no good for business. A private UPN fiber network can get you and your business moving at the speed of light. Whatever you need, we can build it. Internet, Metro Ethernet, Waves, dark fiber. We deliver custom private networks and are focused on business customers only. Our next generation 100% fiber optic infrastructure offers you low latency and ultra scalable bandwidth with speeds up to 100 gigabit to run your critical applications. Your connection won't be limiting your performance anymore. It's diverse and scalable, so it can grow and change as your business grows and changes. And with a secure carrier-grade private network, you'll have all the reliability you need. Contact UPN today to learn more. Fast just got faster.
Welcome back to the Triple Option. Paul Catalina, Pierre Nugent, Fox 9 in Minneapolis. And it's probably lovely. What's the temperature there in Minneapolis today?
Beautiful today. It's in the 80s. I hope I can encompass this and just trap it and have it stay for the next 4 months. But beautiful day today, Paul, for football. It's going to be a gorgeous night out at Huntington Bank Stadium.
You know what it is here right now?
What is it?
147 degrees.
You know what? Again, like I said, I would give that to me. I would rather melt my face off than ever feel cold ever again in my life.
Yeah. Look, you weren't here for the freeze a couple years ago where we lost electricity. It was. Yep. I didn't do well. I did not do well. My wife, we were dating then. She came down from Nashville that weekend. It was Valentine's Day and surprised me. And I can tell you that's probably where I decided I need this woman here all the time because when bad things happen, I'm too old to handle them on my own now. I can't. I was losing it. And, she even mentioned, she goes, well, you were in Minnesota 2 years ago and it was this bad, right? And I was like, yeah, but they know what they're doing. They still had electricity. Yeah. I was in a Courtyard by Marriott. I was fine. It was okay. Yeah. I was a mile away from the Mall of America. There was a Wetzel's Pretzels. We could figure it out.
Yeah, you can take shelter inside of the Mall of America and then be there for 9 hours. I mean, you'll be out about $2,000 probably by the time you're done. But I mean, then again, you won't freeze to death. That's a positive, right?
Yeah. No, that's what I was very worried about. All right, Pierre, here we go. You do the PJ Fleck show every week. He is a very positive, enthusiastic, motivational speaker type of a guy, personality-wise. Yeah. Row the boat and all that. Which college football coach, and you might, like, I'm going to take PJ Fleck out of this because you know him, so it's maybe not fair. But which college football coach, other than PJ Fleck, would you like to have as a life coach?
As a life coach? Wow,
as a life coach.
As a life coach, that's a good one. Man. I can guarantee you it's not Nick Saban. That I can guarantee you that. It wouldn't be Nick Saban. That's a really good question. Oh, how about, you know what? You're gonna shake your head at me. I'm gonna go deep here. How about Mike Brennan out at San Jose State?
Okay.
How about that? Because you know what? That guy has just endless amount of energy. And, I think that when you're at a place like San Jose State, my alma mater, you gotta find a way to keep guys and motivate guys to know that you're going to be about to go out for slaughter in a place like USC, like they did last week. So I want to be inspired. I want to feel like, I could go up against all odds. So I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with, I know I said Mike Brennan. It's Brent Brennan. I'm an idiot. Brent Brennan out at San Jose State I'm going to throw you for a loop and go out with Brent Brennan.
Okay. No, it's good. Hey. Went a little homer there. All right. I know a couple things about you, Pierre, and I know, being, from Northern California, being a Kings fan, but I need to know, who are your two favorite athletes of all time?
Oh, that's easy. For me, there were two names growing up for me that were God in my house, and it's Dan Marino.
Okay.
And
because you're a Dolphins fan. Yeah.
Correct. Dan Marino and Michael Jordan. Those are the easy two ones, and that's 100% the truth. I would never miss a Bulls game on the NBA on NBC. Those doubleheaders on Sunday. So yeah.
So would you call them beloved? Like you care about their personal safety?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. When the aliens come, those are the two guys I'm trying to protect.
Okay. All right. Good answer. So that leads me into this question. In one room, you're a firefighter, and in a burning building, in one room is Dan Marino and the cast of Ocean's 11.
Okay.
And the other room is just Michael Jordan by himself. Mm-hmm. You only have time to open one door and save one room. So you can either save the cast of Ocean's 11, which includes American treasures such as Julia Roberts and Elliot Gould and Don Cheadle and Matt Damon and George Clooney. And Scott Kahn.
I love how Elliot Gould was the second name out of your mouth.
Those guys. That's who that is. Or just Michael Jordan by himself.
God, why do you do this to me?
Yeah.
I think, man, I think it has to be Michael Jordan, doesn't it?
Okay, that's your choice.
I have an autographed, a framed autographed photo, action shot of Dan Marino hanging on my wall right now. But to me, Michael Jordan was just the king of kings growing up. I'm going Michael Jordan.
Okay. You will save Michael Jordan over Dan Marino and Julia Roberts and poor Elliot Gould.
Yes, I would. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm a little more comfortable in my decision because here's the tiebreaker for me. The Dolphins have done nothing but make my life completely miserable for over 30 years, and they have never stopped. And they've provided me some moments, but Michael Jordan never let me down. Not one time.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's interesting. So I asked Chris Allman, who is our co-host Monday and Wednesday this week. He's a big Astros fan. And if Jose Altuve, Craig Biggio, same question. And he basically said, Altuve's got 2 rings and batting titles as much as I love Craig Biggio. Whichever room, if they're switching rooms, I'm going to whatever room Altuve's in. So
yeah,
it's created a bit of a rift in his family too.
I mean, I was about to say, especially with one of those rings, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would say so.
Okay. What is a food or drink that is very popular and most people like, but you don't understand and think is disgusting?
In Minnesota or just in general?
In general.
Peanut butter.
Really?
Yes, peanut butter is disgusting. I don't understand. Like, actually, I'll give you a few. Peanut butter is gross. I can't stand pickles. Cucumbers are trash. Apples, trash fruit, belongs in the gutter. So I'm going to go with that. But peanut butter is probably number one on the list because everybody is so obsessed with it. And me, it does absolutely nothing for me.
Yeah, it's probably why you're so thin. Look,
I try, running around with a camera on my shoulder in Texas for 4 years, helps with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
right. Okay. What college football stadium that you've been to has an atmosphere you wish you could shoot into your veins?
That is a really, really good question. I've been to a few of them over the years because you and I have been to a few together.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I would say, and I can't believe I'm saying this because this is the first one that comes to mind, I think. And I think I would say the University of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because that year, I want to say that was 2014, Paul, was the first time that Baylor had beaten Oklahoma at Oklahoma.
That's one of my favorite games that I've ever covered.
Yes.
Not because, Baylor beat them. Like, there wasn't so much that, but I skipped the Baylor postgame press conference to go listen to Bob Stoops because it was hilarious. Because the local media could not wrap their head around Baylor winning so huge in that game. Yeah. But to circle back to the question, it is like the first 5 minutes before Oklahoma runs out on the field.
Yeah.
There is a palpable energy in that stadium that is hard to match.
No doubt. And the only other thing that came close, I've been to UT 3 or 4 times. I really enjoy their atmosphere as well. But the only other one that I think could rival it for me was, I'm going to stay in the state. At Oklahoma State, that night where it was a primetime game, it was Baylor's only loss of the season.
2014, same year, yeah.
Same year, yeah. That was a primetime game on a Saturday night, and it was cold. It was really cold that night, but the energy and the fans are right on top of you. And I don't think I've ever experienced anything like it, but I still think I would give the edge to Oklahoma with the pomp and circumstance and the energy. And I don't think I've ever experienced anything like it.
All right. Which popular celebrity, this is kind of on the food thing, who are you over? Like, I need to hear a good Pierre rant on, will this person go away?
Wait, a celebrity?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can I give you 2?
Yeah.
The first one's really quick. I've been saying this for years, actually. I wish Nick Saban would go away. I have a personal disdain for the man. I know I'm supposed to remain.
It's the Dolphins, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he just proved himself to be a liar, and then he goes up in front of his press conferences and tells reporters in front of him, all right, I'm going to address it. Don't ask me. Sorry, pal. It doesn't really work that way. I can ask you anything anyway, damn well, please. You have the option to answer it or not, but I'm not going to sit here and listen to you tell me not to ask a question. Get over yourself. So Nick Saban will be one. The one guy right now that I wish would go away, I don't even know if you've even heard of him, and I know this is probably going to make me persona non grata in the state of Minnesota. You ever heard of a guy named Young Gravy?
No, I've not.
Okay, Young Gravy is a new I don't even know if I would call him a rapper.
Yeah.
Maybe a rapper or hip hop rap artist on the scene that's from Minnesota. And listening to his music makes me wonder where we went wrong in society. Like, what happened along the way that we produced this? I'm sure he's a very nice guy. The people that I know who know him a little bit have told me he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's very nice, fine, great, good for him. His music just makes me contemplate my existence on this planet from time to time.
I have a years-long disdain for Kenny Chesney.
Okay.
And I understand what you're saying. Look, I am pretty sure that Kenny Chesney is a very nice guy. Like, I am reasonably sure, because I've seen and heard enough about him where it makes me think he's probably nice. Like, he's probably a good dude. But that doesn't change what he's done. You know, like
to you personally too.
I mean, it doesn't. Like, I have to be at 2 different Cowboys Thanksgiving games in a row where he was the halftime show. And the first one, I completely forgot it was going to happen. It was Robert Griffin, his rookie year.
Yep.
Smokey and I are there, and we get to halftime, and Smokey has this weird grin on his face. And I'm looking at him like, what is the matter with you? And then, like, all of a sudden the announcer's like, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome multi-Grammy-winning artist Kenny Chesney. And I was like, crap, like, audibly in the press box. And then there's, like, the thing is, I can't leave the stadium.
No.
And so I just have to be in this, like, I'm trapped in a room with my least favorite musical artist. It was not great.
It's just the music, right? I mean, you just his music just is nails on a chalkboard for you.
Yeah, and like, as a person who's grown up with country music, I feel like there are, like, artists that everybody, like, tries to copy, and then it gets progressively worse until you, like, reboot. And that's the same way in music. Like, you know, everybody wanted to figure out boy band, and we'll do this until it, like, degrades to nothing. And then we'll try to copy Destiny's Child until it degrades to nothing. And so Kenny Chesney was the first one of this era of country music, which is, like, dwindling down to just dust. And it's not what it was.
My homework assignment for you after we're done here is to go look up Young Gravy.
Oh, I'm going to.
Report back to me next week when we get a chance to talk, and I want to see what your reaction is, and to tell me if I'm off base or not.
No,
because this might be, Paul, with Young Gravy in particular, this might be the moment now where I have just realized that, oh, I'm the old guy now. Like, I feel like I'm the guy who doesn't get it and doesn't get what the kids are listening to these days. I used to think that I was young and hip, and part of me still thinks that I am, but I think this is the moment now where I'm like, no, I've waved goodbye to my adolescence. I'm officially the old guy now.
Oh, yeah, no, like, it happens, Pierre. How old are you? Like, I'm 43. How old are you now?
I'm 39.
39. Oh, it's coming, buddy. You're gonna wake up one morning, and then, like, you'll, like, walk through somewhere where the music is the same as it's been. Like, you'll be in the grocery store and be like, why is it so loud in here?
Dude, I hear, from what I hear in Texas, the HEB playlists these days are just banger after banger from 90s and early aughts.
Hey, my wife was, like, very visibly embarrassed of me a couple weeks ago because they were playing Better Man by Pearl Jam, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. And
a classic.
Yeah, we were just waiting in the deli and, you know, for our turn. And I was, you know, there's like a little case there, and I'm looking at all the fancy cheeses that she won't let me buy. And I'm just like, can't find a better bird. And it was
such a good song.
And she's like, what are you doing? I was like, what do you mean? What? And she's like, you're singing right now. I was like, I mean, what? I mean, why? Like, my question is, why aren't we all singing right now?
Not only are you singing, it's the perfect song because you're talking to her at the same time. I mean, it's a perfect timing of she can't find a better man, and you want her to join in the festivities. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, and it was like, I think that the part that she got me was like where he like really kicks like, she loves him, you know, like where it goes like that, which I'm sorry for anybody who just had to hear that, but like it kicks up, and I was just like, I'm into it. And again, we are like, as people here in the grocery store, we should be enjoying. But yeah, no, it's banger after banger at HEB.
They know what they're doing. It's a fine grocery store down there in Texas. I miss it every day.
Yeah, the other day I went without her, and One Headlight by the Wallflowers was on. I was like,
I still have the album in the car.
There you go.
I still have that exact album in the car in the old CD case that you have, like a booklet and stuff. It's all in there, man. I'm not letting go of that. Yeah. No, sir. No, sir.
All right, we got to end on one college football question here.
Let's do it.
Okay. Which college football player do you wish had infinite eligibility?
Any
all time. Any era, all time.
Man, that's a really, really good one. The two obvious ones to me would be Tim Tebow and Manti Te'o. I think those would be two obvious ones. But I was a big fan of watching Cadillac Williams.
Oh, okay.
And LaMichael James run the football.
We just had LaMichael James on the show 2 days ago.
You're kidding me.
No. Yeah, just 2 days ago.
Growing up on the West Coast, I watched, a decent amount of Oregon games. And back in the day, watching LaMichael James run was just a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
Thing of beauty back in the day. So I had an affinity for really good running backs. So you know what? Let's go with LaMichael James. That's it. All day, every day, baby.
Hey, when you do get to go cover Oregon, he owns a killer burger chain. Like he owns those franchises. He owns a couple of those franchises. You probably pop in and see him.
That would be, you know what? I'm going to make that. I'm going to make sure that I'm on these road trips now with the expanded Big Ten because I'm going to meet these people. I want to eat their food. I want to hang out in their town. I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's go.
All right. When we come back, Pierre, we're going to make our picks for week one.
Let's do it.
And I will warn you, there are punishments that come with being dead last.
Oh, God. This is going to be the worst week of my life. I already know it.
So
I already know it.
We're back in 3 minutes and 30 seconds right here on the Triple Option 365 Sports.
Baylor alumni are more than 160,000 strong. When we all join hands to support our university, we don't just move the needle, we move mountains. Working together, we create life-changing opportunities for students on the field, in the classroom, in the laboratory, and in life for generations to come. So get connected. Get involved. Learn how at baylor.edu/alumni.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Pizza, burgers, and Bears football. There's no place around Waco that serves them all other than Bubba's 33. Come show your green and gold and enjoy some of Waco's best food and beverages while watching your favorite team, the Bears. When real Bears fans get hungry, Bubba's 33 is the #1 spot for ice-cold drinks, hand-stretched, stone-baked pizzas, and bacon-infused burgers. Join us for indoor or patio dining. Bubba's 33, Waco's restaurant and proud supporter of Baylor Bears football. Sick 'em, Bears.
It's another time to speak with Samantha Duvall from TexasBeefHouse.com, handles the marketing and someone that you will talk to a lot when you do call for the great product of the Texas-raised Wagyu beef. It's college football season, tailgating, it's a big deal. People love to put beef and pork and chicken, etc. on the grill. Let me know what you have.
We've got everything. If you've got a morning game, you can get our breakfast sausage or our bacon. You can tailgate with some breakfast tacos. If you've got an afternoon or evening game, we of course got our hamburger patties. They're half-pound patties, 4 patties to a package, and we even have jalapeno and cheese patties. They're amazing. They'll blow your mind. Just that extra flavor, not too spicy. They have a high-heat cheese so they don't melt on the grill, and our patties don't shrink up on the grill either. Anytime you order, use our code SICK'EM10 to get 10% off your order of $100 or more.
Where is the best beef in Texas? Your house. When you order from Texas Beef House, unleash the flavor of Texas-raised Wagyu from our pasture to your plate. That's Samantha Duvall, TexasBeefHouse.com.
There are 26 levels letters in the alphabet, over 600,000 words in the dictionary, and just 3 of them said together can change everything. Let's order pizza. Those 3 words lead to dough made from scratch and 3 fresh signature cheeses that blanket golden crust in a heavenly melt on Marco's Pizza that'll blow your mind. So visit marcos.com to order and stop by Marco's Pizza in Belmead, China Spring, Woodway, and in Robinson. Marco's. Pizza lovers get it.
This is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Welcome to the Triple Option. Here's your host, Paul Catalina.
Welcome back to the Triple Option. Paul Catalina alongside Pierre Nugent. Fox 9, Minneapolis, here with us. We're going to make our picks right now. And involved in this will be Jack, Levi, and Garrett, who you can't see, but they're just going to tell me what they're picking when we ask these games. And we'll go through. So, Pierre, I need to grab my headset so I can hear you. There we go. Sorry about that. I did not think we were kind of rushed here. All right, here we go. Now I can hear you. All right, I'm back. Look, it's live. It's live. It's live. That's the important thing. Okay, so we will start with our off-camera guys, and then move through to Pierre and myself. So we'll start with Levi, Utah and Florida. Levi, who you got? Utah.
Florida.
Oh, so
Florida from Garrett.
All right, we got 2 Utahs. Come on. There we go. And Garrett is picking the dirty, disgusting Florida Gators. Pierre, who you got? I can't hear.
My bad.
Okay. There we go.
I'm taking Utah.
Okay. Utah at home. All right. This one, interesting to me because Cam Rising not going to play. Him trying to make people believe he was going to play less than 8 months after a torn ACL was kind of amazing to me, but I kind of believed it. It is at Utah. I'm going to go, I can almost be convinced to go with Garrett, but I think that game's stuck in their craw. They're going to be a lot more physical. I'm going the Utes in that one. Okay. Deion Sanders debut in Fort Worth against the defending runner-ups in college football. All right, guys, what do we have in the peanut gallery? TCU from Levi. TCU from Garrett. TCU.
Oh, why did I put the horns up?
All right. Come on. I'll get the hang of this soon enough. There we go. All right, Pierre, who you got in Coach Prime's first game?
I think it's going to be a clean sweep here, TCU.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not buying that they're going to be that ready as much as Coach Prime has tried to hype them up. That's 51 new transfers. They'll be interesting to watch, way more interesting to watch than they have been the last couple of years. But this is a team that's 1-11 last year, 51 new players. It takes a little bit more than that. All right, we are now Houston and UTSA. Houston's first game as a Big 12 member. Peanut Gallery, who you got?
I want UTSA. I don't know their thingy.
Okay, Levi's got UTSA.
Okay.
Garrett has UTSA. I'm taking Houston.
Okay, so we got 2 UTSAs. Oh, I have to do it every time.
You have to do it every time. Sorry,
Okay,
Paul.
sorry. You're going.
I'm going with Houston. Jack is going with Houston.
Jack's going to Houston. Okay. Pierre, who you got?
It's a tough one. I think I'm going to go with Houston as well.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Dana Holgerson, ready to party after that game. That guy has a good time. He knows how to do it. I'm going to go with good buddy Jeff Traylor and the Roadrunners. I think Houston's been a little bit run over by transfer portal. And the game's been close when they've played it. I'm going to go UTSA to go 1-0 against the Big 12. Jack, you don't seem to agree with me at all.
No,
I know you picked Houston, but
it's such a tough pick, and I just think we have I'm looking for a reason to pick Houston, honestly, and to have a little flavor in there for us.
All right. Well, look, there's some differences here. So, all right, this one's important. Pierre, as you know, this is the most important game you will pick. This is the most important thing you'll say all day. The most important words that will come out of your mouth are about to pop up here. I am going to go ahead and tell you that Garrett, the LSU fan, is picking the Bayou Bengals.
Okay.
And look, even the computer doesn't even want to let me do it. There we go. Levi.
Florida State.
There you go, buddy. That's how you kiss up to the host, right there. Jack Attack.
I wish I could hear Pierre's because we have the same pick so far, but I think I'm going to go with Florida State.
All right. Here we go. Pierre, one of my oldest friends in this business.
My head is saying LSU. My heart is saying Florida State. And I was told a long time ago, follow your heart, kid, and you'll never go wrong. I'll go with Florida State.
Switch me, Paul. Switch me.
Switch you?
Switch me.
Okay, yeah. I'll switch you. All right. There we go. Look, Jack and Garrett spent a lot of time together here in the studio.
Make sure you hit LSU.
Yeah, I did.
It should work. Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. All right, this pick should be obvious coming from me. I will tell you, I am terrified of this game because it was 21-20 last year. FSU should have won this game 28-14. Fumbled the ball at the 1 yard line. Then Jaden Daniels became him, like who he was going to be, and it took a blocked extra point at the end of the game to keep this from going into overtime. But I do think Florida State in Orlando. With this roster, they got matchup nightmares on offense with Keon Coleman joining Johnny Wilson already, Jaheim Bell at tight end. I don't know who's going to cover all these receivers at once, not to mention Trey Benson, Lawrence Toafili in the running game, and an improved Jordan Travis. Floridastate, Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo! Going with my nose. Shouldn't shock anybody. All right. This one's a tough one, only for the fact that usually, I would pick Clemson in a runaway here, but Riley Leonard, the quarterback at Duke, is the real deal, and this is home game at Duke. Clemson's going to be really good this year, but would not totally shock me to see them go 0-1, but again, I'll make my pick last. Levi, who you got?
Clemson.
Okay, are we going Clemson across the board in the peanut gallery?
Yeah, all three of us have Clemson.
Okay. Okay. Garrett is always pro Tigers. Pierre, what you got?
Got to be Clemson. It's got to be.
All right. Okay. So I am also going to go Clemson, although this game will be a lot better than anybody probably thought it would have been a few years ago. All right. So across the board, we've got enough differences here to make it interesting. So we are going to draw the punishment out of a hat. This is the few of them, not all the ones that we will have because we'll run out. We'll have to come up maybe some new ones in the middle of the season. But I've got the first wave of punishments through here. Now, Pierre, because you're in Minneapolis, you're going to have to get a friend to help you with some of these and video them for us. But I figured you are game for this stuff. So, okay. So the punishment for whoever comes in last and tiebreaker, we're going to have to figure out some sort of like quiz game or something to play between the two or three, whoever comes in.
I doubt we're going to have a tie this week.
No, I think it would be.
We are very diverse in our picks.
Yeah, so, definitely would not be. Okay, so the punishment this week, I'm not looking as I pull okay, here we go. Oh, well, see, this is an easy one. You do one show in rival gear. So,
ooh, that's a good first one.
So I'd be wearing this dirty, awful blue color. Jack is a Baylor grad, so we'd have to, and same with Levi's Baylor student right now. So they'd be wearing probably TCU.
Yeah.
And Garrett is LSU, so he's in the SEC. Garrett, whose would yours be?
I hate Florida more than anybody. But
Okay.
Ooh.
So he'll have to do Bama. So he'll do Bama.
He did say he hates Florida more than anybody.
Oh, I'd say so them. Okay, I thought you said but Bama.
No, he said but Bama at the end.
Okay. Okay, so he'll do Bama. I'll do Florida. Like, Garrett would at least feel sorry for me when I'm sitting here wearing the Florida stuff. All right, Pierre, who is yours? Like, hated rival. Even it's a San Jose State, so it's a little bit different.
I went to San Jose State, so I would say Fresno State probably would be up there, but even though they're not in the same conference, I would still consider, like, and even though they just, but USC, if I have to put USC stuff on, I just feel dirty.
Okay,
feel
good
dirty.
deal. So, one show and rival gear, and whoever, since we'll have an extra seat here, they'll just have to sit here and be on the show in the rival gear with us. So Jack's got a camera that'll point towards him as well. So if he loses, then we'll get plenty of shots in him his TCU shirt and be miserable. And then I'll just say this. If it's me, I'll even wear it on the long show. That's how, on the longer show. I'll go that far because this is a new show. I need to promote what we're doing. And so stunts work. So, yeah. So, Pierre, I'm not going to tell you what these are because there's a couple of them that you're not going to like. That no one's going to like.
This kind of feels like you telling me the word to pick on the broadcast. I kind of feel like I have to have a little bit of veto power depending on what I do on camera here. So. But yeah, if I can wear USC gear if I have to. Hopefully it won't come to that, but I will accept the punishment that fits the crime.
All right. So, look, I'll tell you, one week I was just watching Seinfeld, and I would just send him different Seinfeld things because he's a fan. I thought he could get him in, but it's tough when you've already written your script.
That's right.
And I would also pick harder ones on what I knew were dead times in the summer. Like July 10th was a great time for me to be like, hey, work this into your sportscast 6 minutes from now.
You knew you couldn't get me with Seinfeld too. Any reference you make, I would get. And I was just like, I think I could find a way. I could absolutely find a way. 100%.
Absolutely. Well, Pierre, we're going to see you next week. I hope for your sake, it's not going to be wearing a USC shirt. And the other thing we're going to do is we'll probably get the cheapest one from Amazon in your size that we can find and just send it. That way you can just wash your car with it after it's done. That's what it could be for.
And that car needs a good wash right now, so that could come in handy. So yeah, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, anyone with connections to a college apparel company watching, sponsor us. We'll use your gear.
In particular, maybe Home Field Apparel.
Yeah, maybe.
Look, Home Field Apparel. That's you right there. And that's you right there. And over there, too. You're all over the place, Home Field Apparel. Free plug for Home Field Apparel. Send us some stuff, Home Field. We got to clip this and put it online. Tweet it right to them and say, please, 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 look at all the stuff that we have. I'm not wearing a Home Field Apparel shirt right now, and I could be. Think about that. And all the advertising space, just physically, you're missing out on. This is a lot. This is a 3X here, bro. So you could really, just in cubic centimeters, you're winning right there. Is that how you measure things? I don't know. I don't do math.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
No, I'd say that sounds about right. You could be like a NASCAR car. Just put like a logo like all over you,
Yeah. Look, I will do a free plug for people for a while if we believe in what they do. For example, I think I'm going to be the world's, my goal is to be the world's bidet pitchman. I want Japanese toilets and bidets everywhere. It's something that as Americans, we're far too behind the curve on.
Fair.
Yeah. Look, you want to know?
At the risk, I don't mean to throw in another free plug in there, but it's just out of my own curiosity, Paul. Is Katie's frozen custard still going strong?
Oh yeah.
Oh man. God, I got to get back down and give me some of that. That is some of the best stuff I've ever had.
Yeah. Well, Pierre, you're welcome every time. I have a guest bedroom for you waiting. I have to
wait.
Listen. I'll have to clear that with Amanda, but she'll like you anyway. She's Palestinian, you're Egyptian. You guys will get along great.
It's fine. No conflict over there in that part of the world. It's all good. It's just fine. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be great.
Yeah. You guys will get along famously. Absolutely. So come down anytime. Maybe I'll come and see you in Minneapolis when the Twins are playing in the summer when, you can live like a normal person.
Can't wait to see you next year, buddy, because in about 2 weeks, it's going to all go downhill from here. So, we'll see you next summer for sure.
All right, but we'll definitely see you next week here on the show. Pierre is going to be kind of our regular Thursday guy. Plus, we have to see who's wearing the rival shirt after. Well, it's going to be Monday night because the Duke and Clemson is on Monday. Thanks for watching here on the Triple Option on 365 Sports. Main show at 3 o'clock. Have a great day, everybody.
You need things done quickly. But if you're still tying your critical applications together on multiple shared public networks, you've probably been feeling the slowdown. And that's no good for business. A private UPN fiber network can get you and your business moving at the speed of light. Whatever you need, we can build it. Internet, Metro Ethernet, Waves, dark fiber. We deliver custom private networks and are focused on business customers only. Our next generation 100% fiber optic infrastructure offers you low latency and ultra scalable bandwidth with speeds up to 100 gigabit to run your critical applications. Your connection won't be limiting your performance anymore. It's diverse and scalable, so it can grow and change as your business grows and changes. And with a secure carrier-grade private network, you'll have all the reliability you need. Contact UPN today to learn more. Fast